Oh, A dramatic spectacle of events is set to unfold in front of us to open our afternoon game at Civic Field, ladies and gentlemen. The third game out of three between the Port Angeles Lefties and the Redmond Dudes. Final non-league tune-up for Port Angeles ahead of a huge three-game set starting Tuesday against the Victoria Harbor Cats just across the pond. I'm Evan Schmeiser, everybody. It is an honor, as always, to be bringing you the action from Civic Field. So there's a whole host of different things going on right now. Evan Bates will be on the mound for the Lefties. The usual coach, officially the youngest man to ever manage a West Coast League game in the 18-season history of the league. Again, a situation, hey, non-league game, Lefties are saving some arms, giving the young man an opportunity. He graduated from Linfield College, grew up in Montesano, Washington, the southern end of Olympic National Park. His last season coming in 2022. 32 and 2/3 innings for him, 4.68 ERA. His first pitch is on the outside corner. And Cedric Gather to open things up. 1:38 Pacific Standard Time, everybody. 66 degrees Fahrenheit. We're having yet, with the first pitch, we're having another little ceremony unfold before us. MJ Kim is coming in to play shortstop. He's going to be replacing B.Y. Choi. His final game in his 2-year career wearing a Lefties jersey. A really good chance that he'll be drafted in this upcoming Major League draft. If not the case, he'll be going back to Dallas Baptist University to get ready for this next season. B.Y. recovering from a little bit of leg soreness. Getting a nice standing ovation, a hug from all of his teammates. There's Matt Acker right there. Everybody's lined up to give him his due. Really a staple of this Port Angeles Olympic Peninsula community over these past couple summers. And really good to see him honored in such a way. So Coach Evan Bates on the mound, 0-1 the count to Cedric Gather. B.Y. Choi removed and replaced by M.J. Kim at shortstop. Boy, that was beautiful. Bates out of the windup. The 0-1 is trickled foul at the plate. 0-2 the count. Let's check out the rest of the dudes' lineup. Gather will be followed by Hagen Bowen. Declan Brown is back behind the plate once again. Mason Gromwald, the hero from last night, the designated hitter, batting fourth. It's at 0-2. Is right off the back of Gather. So Bates ends up hitting him on an 0-2 count to lead off the game. Reed Brockle hit fifth. Rucker Yauch back in the lineup hitting sixth. Indy Anderson's the seventh man. Alex Hartnett will be batting eighth. Angus Gilligan will round out the dudes' lineup batting ninth. And that brings up Hagen Bowen. A good lead at first from Gather, and the first pitch is swung on and hit foul into the overhanging screen. Bowen 3 for 5 last night with a big RBI single in the seventh. Part of a 3-run seventh inning to initially give the dudes a lead, as that one gets a piece of Bowen. So Bates struggling with some command early. He's hit each of the first two batters. He's going to have to work out of a heck of a lot of trouble. It brings up Declan Brown, 3 for 7 in this series. He had a big hit in the seventh inning yesterday to drive home one of those 3 runs for the dudes. First pitch in the dirt. It gets away from Ott. Moving up to third will be Gather. Holding up at first is Bowen. So first and third with nobody out. So Bates has done a lot of batting practice, really good batting practice for the Lefties. Did not pitch this past season at Central Washington working for his Masters. Shattered bat, blooped in the center. Becker coming on. He's not going to get it. Bowen was running on the pitch. He's on his way to third. The throw is not going to be in time. And crossing the plate easily is Cedric Gather. Oh, and what happened here? Bowen's being called out at third. I guess he ended up coming off the bag on his slide. I mean, he beat the throw by a mile. Odd right there. An RBI single for Declan Brown, so he stays hot after a good day yesterday. And 1-0 dudes. Goodness, that was bizarre. So 8-5 on that putout. Bates will take it. That's the first pitch to Gronwald, misses high. Mason Gronwald getting the start as the designated hitter. A titanic solo home run and a 5-5 game yesterday in the top of the ninth over that left field fence. Even with all the wind, I don't think he would have needed any extra help. That was the difference maker. 6-5, the Dudes over the Lefties yesterday. So he swings at that one and hits it way up in the air. Foul territory in the left. Alsop on the run. He's going to run out of room. So it moves the count to 2-1. Lefties trying to salvage one of these 3 games against Redmond. Able to fight back both nights in the 7th inning after trailing by multiple runs. Going into the 9th, tied both nights. Dude's able to push one across on both occasions, and Redmond's been able to take the first 2 games. As that one's in the left field for a base hit. Brown will stop at second. Back-to-back singles for the Dudes. Each of the first 4 base runners, each of the first 4 batters reaching base.
Now up to the plate, third baseman number 8.
And that'll bring up Reed Brock. So a little bat with men on first and second with 1 out. Bates trying to settle in. First pitch just outside. Trying to locate on the inner half, has not been able to do so. And we've seen the Dudes get some pretty good swings against him. Couple looks back at Brown at second. That one outside again, 2-0. Lefties will ride Bates as far as he can go. Does not have to worry about a pitch count or an innings limit from any college coach. 2-0, that's on the outside corner, 2-1. A pretty straight-looking fastball. Here's the 2-1, curveball off the hands, foul. That was a pretty good bender. The Lefties will set up to turn 2. So MJ Kim will be batting in the 8th spot in the lineup. As he came in to replace Choi after the first pitch of the game. 2-2, 1 out, 1-0 Dudes. In the dirt, good play from Halen Ott. So it loads the count 3-2. Brock went 0 for 2 in last night's game. 0 for 2 with a walk. As that's downstairs, ball 4. It loads the bases with 1 out. A walk and 2 hit batters for Bates.
Now up to the plate, right fielder number 18, Rutger Youch.
And that'll bring up Rutger Youch. Really dangerous spot. Bates out of the windup. The first pitch is down and away. Youch hitting 0-77. Soft bounce to Kim up with it to second base for 1. Back over the first. In time. 6-4-3 double play. Evan Bates able to work out of a difficult first inning. So he allows a run. The Dude's able to take advantage of a couple hit batters to start the game. Great play in the outfield from Kyle Becker, and that double play ball limits the damage at 1. We'll see the Lefties take their first swings when we return at Civic Field. Well, we're just about ready to go for the bottom of the first, everybody. Lefties will look to try and tie this game up, even take the lead. Trailing 1-0 after the Dudes' first set of at-bats. Ryan Junt, will draw the start for the Dudes. A 4.50 ERA this season. A 6'1", 180-pound right-hander out of Columbia Basin College. Fifth start of this summer. 10 innings for him, 12 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 5 hits. It's been a while since he last pitched. That outing coming back on June 26, earning the win, going 2 innings, a single earned run allowed, no hits, and a walk. Opposition hitting .263 against him. Looks to be featuring a fastball and a breaking ball at the moment. We'll take a look at the Lefties lineup. It'll be Kyle Becker, one of the heroes from last night. Royce Samura batting second. Trent Jackson back in the lineup hitting third after a day off. Chase Taylor in the lineup for the second straight day, playing first base, though, hitting cleanup. Cam Custer is the fifth man. Owen Alsop hitting sixth. Brock Mayer, one of 2 designated hitters for the Lefties, batting seventh. MJ Kim coming in last inning after the first pitch for B.Y. Choi, hits eighth. Halen the catcher will bat ninth. And the fan winner yesterday, John Whitehead, played baseball each of the past 17 years, spent some time in the Marlins system. He will bat 10th for the Lefties. He'll play the entire game as a second designated hitter. Junt out of the windup, his first pitch is high and away to Kyle Becker. Pretty strong breeze once again out of the windup. That ball's ripped up the middle. A sliding stop from Gatter, but he can't come up with it. So an infield hit for Becker to get things started for Port Angeles. Yeah, so Becker picking up right where he left off. And that'll bring up Royce Samura. Royce, another new guy for the Lefties, the third game he's played in. 0 for 3 yesterday. Was hit by a pitch, also walked. So he swings at the first pitch and pops it foul into the screen. Boy, Becker at first, though, does have a smooth, flat swing. Came up with the Lefties trailing by 2 yesterday in the bottom of the 7th, able to deliver a base hit up the middle to tie it. A check on the runner, not in time. The ball it gets away from Anderson at first. Becker pops up, and he's going to get it in the second. And it's going to be an error on Anderson at first, just popped right out of his glove. And also for right now, sloppy play continues. The Dudes have made 3 errors in each of the last 2 games. Well, and the Lefties overall have just struggled mightily defensively. 20 errors in the past 4 games after committing 3 more last night. So defense, a big key for both teams. Samura shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a curveball low. Close pitch, but it popped out of Declan Brown's glove. So Junt looks in. 1-1 the count. Becker with a good lead at second. Samura shows bunt again, and he gets it in front of the mound. Junt's up with it, and he'll take the sure route at first. He took a look over at third, but just too much speed from Becker. A successful sacrifice from Royce. It brings up Trent Jackson.
Now batting right fielder number 5 from Hawaii Hilo University.
Trent has just been terrific. He got the day off yesterday. 2 for 3 a couple nights ago with an RBI. So he takes a strike on the outer half. Overall in West Coast League play, Jackson hitting .309 with 3 home runs. The Dudes playing the infield back, and that one's popped into the screen. So Jackson falling behind 0-2. And also if you're Becker, got to keep an eye just on the pitches coming in. Wild pitches all over the place for the Dudes. We saw 8 total a couple nights ago, 4 more wild pitches yesterday from Redmond pitching. The 0-2 out of the stretch is popped foul down the first base line. Looked like kind of a harder breaking ball right there. Bit of a herky-jerky delivery from Junt. Working out of the stretch with Becker at first. The 0-2 again, that's high. Oh, it's been windy all morning and early afternoon long. It continues to just whip from right to left. You can definitely see it in the trees out in right. That one's hit out to right. It's not deep. Yount started back. Now he comes in. He makes the catch. Becker's going to tag, and the throw is going to be way late. It came in on a hop. I'm not quite sure what Yount was doing in right. He made the catch and then just kept running for a little bit. I don't know if he forgot the outs. It might have been a close play if the throw came in right away. Sacrifice fly for Jackson. And it's 1-1. Good job from the lefties manufacturing a run with some small ball. So that brings up Chase Taylor with 2 outs and nobody aboard. Chase, another guy who's just been fantastic. As the first pitch misses inside 1-0. Taylor 2 for 4 last night. Just continues to get good swings and hit the ball hard. Hitting .273 in West Coast League play. 3 home runs for him. That curveball's way upstairs. Wow, off the glove of Brown and off the mask of the home plate umpire. Brown has not looked smooth behind the plate. Now, granted, it's tougher when your pitchers are just all over the place, but like a ball like that, you do not appreciate that if you're a home plate umpire. Out of the windup, the 2-0 is fouled straight back. As Taylor steps out, Ryan Junt is ready. He's standing back on the mound. The lefty's able to answer back, scoring 1 run to tie it up. As that one's in the air, foul down the right field line. That'll get over towards the grandstands. So good to see for Evan Bates getting the start for the lefties. Able to get a double play ball with the bases loaded. And now a tie ball game. That's in the air again down the right field line, out of play. And he told me yesterday and confirmed it this morning, immediately after he's done on the mound, Evan Bates will be joining us in the booth. Oh, I always love when I'm able to get somebody else to talk to up here. Well, I've got guys to talk to, but you know what I mean on the air. 2-2 the count with 2 outs, a tie score at 1. Here's the pitch from Junt. That one's hit high in the air. Third base line, foul territory. Brock comes in, and that ball's going to drop. Foul. Oh, wow. That Taylor wasn't running up the line right away. He assumed he was just going to be put out. The ball landed foul, and then it bounced back fair. And what's the call here? Taylor's going back to first. What is the call? Okay, well, now another 3 umpire crew. Now the home plate umpire is going to talk to one of the field umps. So it looked to me like, okay, they're going to call the foul ball, and I think they got it right. It was a bad play initially by Brock. Just completely misread that ball, charging in from third. It dropped foul, then the ball went fair, and then it came back foul. And I don't think Brock touched it at all until he eventually touched it foul. He nearly let it roll back fair, too. So with all that hullabaloo, still 2-2 with 2 outs. And new life for Taylor. And here's the 2-2. Oh, wow. A low strike right there that called against Taylor. He goes down looking. Taylor with a few extra words for the home plate umpire. So that retires the side. The lefty's able to play a little small ball. Able to play Kyle Becker, staying hot from last night. 1-1 is our score through 1 as Timber is making his rounds through the outfield. Welcome back, everybody. We're ready for the top of the second. Bottom of the order coming up for the dudes. Indy Anderson, Alex Hartnett, and Angus Gilligan. Evan Bates will get back to work as he gets a first pitch swing popped up foul. Bates looking to settle in, find his command, find his groove. He hit each of the first 2 batters last inning, then allowed back-to-back singles. Fortunate to escape only allowing a run. Curveball and a good one in there for a strike. Anderson got the night off yesterday. A tall left-handed batter. So he floats that one out of play. Bates got some help last inning from an outfield assist from Kyle Becker and then a 6-4-3 double play ball. Looking for a cleaner frame. That 0-2 is in the dirt. Looked like he tried to change up. And also, either next inning or the inning after that, you'll see the first at-bat of the day from one John Whitehead as that curveball's low, 2-2. Winner of a throwing challenge yesterday, part of a fan competition to be in the Lefties lineup today. So the Lefties batting 10 using 2 designated hitters, and Whitehead is the 10th man. Swung on and missed. Another changeup from Bates, his first punch out of the afternoon. Now they'll bring up Alex Hartnett. Hartnett walked and scored yesterday and went 0 for 3 overall. Also came in late in the game on Friday as he takes a strike. Pitcher's pitch right there. Hartnett not pleased with it. Back-to-back left-handed batters coming up for the dudes. Another change of it foul and out of play. Not a cloud in the sky once again at Civic Field. Perfect view of Olympic National Park and right. The 0-2 pitch is way outside. Not one of the more competitive curveballs we've seen from Bates, making his first start of the season. Wonder if he'll go back to that changeup. Here's his 1-2. Looks like he did try it, but he bounced it. Couple uncompetitive off-speed pitches. Jackson in right playing over towards the line and fairly deep. Becker in center and Custer in left playing Hartnett the other way. Outside 3-2. So Bates has missed with 3 straight after working ahead 0-2. Here's his 3-2. Fastball, and it's rolled foul up the first base line. So Bates will get a new baseball. Hartnett will step out. The count remains 3-2. I would expect another challenge fastball. You definitely don't want to put a guy on right here. The 3-2, swung on and missed. Looks like Bates went back to the changeup, and that was a good one. Riding down in the zone. With 2 outs, it brings up the 9th man, Angus Gilligan, and we'll take a look at the Lefties defensively. Owen Alsop is at third. MJ Kim, the shortstop, after replacing B.Y. Choi an inning ago after the first pitch. Royce Samura back at second. Chase Taylor, the first baseman tonight. Halen Ott back behind the plate for the 3rd straight day. Cam Custer in left. Kyle Becker back in center. Trent Jackson in right after getting the day off yesterday. As the first pitch misses low to Gilligan. And Evan Bates on the mound, working his 2nd inning. Earlier this season, the youngest man to ever manage a West Coast League game. And a slow bouncer out to short. Kim tries to charge it, but it goes right under his glove. Samura going to back up the play. Well, so each team has now committed an error. The defensive issues continue. And that one will go against Kim. So at least for now, Bates will have to throw a few extra pitches. It'll be Cedric Gatter, who was hit by a pitch his only time up, eventually came around to score. 1-1, dudes and lefties with 2 outs in the top of the 2nd. And Gilligan draws a throw, who goes back in standing up. Long looking from Bates. He better step off. Gilligan's getting way off the bag. And it's in the dirt. It gets away from Ott. Another wild pitch for Bates allows Gilligan to get up to second. That would have been a good time. I know Taylor's not quite as familiar at first, the usual catcher. Would have been a good time for him to yell step off and get another throw over. Just with how far Gilligan was getting off the bag. Way outside again, 2-0. Well, the pick your poison situation. You have a dangerous hitter in Bowen waiting on deck, who's seen the ball well all series. The 2-0 challenge fastball hit foul the other way. Gather a little extra conversation with the umpire, asking if that pitch was a strike, or if it would have been a strike. It was close. The 2-1, that one's outside again. Bates has had trouble with his command on both sides of the plate early. At times, yanking his fastball outside to righties. His 3-1, that was a good pitch. Soft bouncer to the left side. Alsa flags it down. Better hurry the throw. And not in time at first. It was close. It was a high and slow bouncer. Alsop did all he could to try and hurry the throw. Just too much speed from Cedric. Gilligan up to third on the play. An extra conversation now from MJ Kim and Alsop. I'm wondering if Kim is saying he should have had that ball. Well, if Alsop let that go by, Kim would have had no chance. First pitch in the dirt. Ott keeps it around him. So an opportunity for Bowen now. 3 singles for him yesterday as that one's ripped foul down the left field line and off the party deck. Nobody in the party deck today. Oh, well, we'll get it back another day. Foul tipped at the plate. 1-2 the count. Bowen hitting .286 this season. Out of Central Columbia College. Or Columbia Basin College, beg your pardon. The 1-2 will have to wait as Gather draws a throw. So again, Bates working ahead in the count. Let's see if he can finish off Bowen. Try and work around this damage. Low 2-2. Try to change up. A good take from Bowen. Gather at first after reaching on an infield hit, and Gilligan at third after reaching on an error, as that's foul tipped in and out of the glove of Ott. And with the error earlier in the inning on Kim, that's now the 21st error for the Lefties in their past now, 5 games and 2 innings. That's not going to get it done. Especially not with the Harbor Cats series coming up. Bates with a new baseball, 2-2 the count. And here's his pitch. Tries another changeup, and it's low. Almost got a swing from Bowen. So now Gather will be off from first with the count full. Big pitch coming up from Bates early. Here's his 3-2. Swung on and missed. He gets Bowen to go after a high fastball. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Evan Bates. Able to work around the error on the infield. So still 1-1 as the Lefties coming back up for the bottom of the second. Perhaps we'll see John Whitehead come up for the first time. It'll be 5, 6, 7 coming up for the lefties. Cam Custer, Owen Alsop, and one of the two designated hitters, Brock Mayer. Ryan Junt will get back to work on the mound. Lefties trying to take an early lead as Custer swings at the first pitch. Well, check swings and hits it foul. Cam is 3 for 9 in this series against the Dudes. Coming in hitting .290 overall. 2 for 4 yesterday with an RBI and a couple stolen bases. Curveball low, 1-1. Perhaps the lefties can get a rally going, and we can see the fan winner from yesterday, John Whitehead, bat with men in scoring position. Now that would be a sight. Low, 2-1. A really good crowd in the box seating at Civic Field. Lots of families of players coming to town, lots of host families. As that one's popped up into this, it's around the screen, foul territory, and Junt will make the catch. And what happened here? Okay, there we go. I thought I heard the ball initially hit the net. Turns out it only glanced as it kept going up in the air. So it's a foul ball, 2-2 the count. No out on the play. Okay, so my instincts were correct. So Cam's still batting. New life for him. That overhanging screen just saving so many foul pop-ups. The 2-2 check swing, and Custer holds up. Pretty good at bat. He works it back full. Alsop waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2 from Junt. That one's it pretty well out to left. Hartnett going back on it. Still back at the wall. Goodbye, home run. Cam Custer brings this crowd to its feet with a solo home run in the bottom of the second. 2-1 lefties. Boy, did he knew it as soon as it left the box. Cam is heating up, I tell you. His second home run of the season. And boy, how big was that foul pop-up, just barely glancing on the net to give him that extra pitch.
Third baseman, number 39 for West Texas A&M University.
And that brings up Owen Alsop. Well, Alsop had a great night 2 days ago, going 3 for 5 with a 3-run shot as he takes a curveball for a strike. Very aggressive throughout his at-bats yesterday. He picked up an RBI single in that 4-run 7 for the lefties to tie it. He's behind 0-2. Each of his first 3 at-bats yesterday, Owen swung at the first pitch and made a weak out. It was just surprising to see. We'll have to wait for that next pitch as Junt steps off. 0-2 the count. And here's the pitch from Junt. Curveball, and that's right down the chute for a called strike 3. Alsop goes down on 3 pitches, that time a curveball.
Now batting the designated hitter.
And that brings up Brock Mayer. Brock, one of the 2 designated hitters today for the lefties. Hitting .211 overall. A double, no RBIs to his credit, as that first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Mayer walked once yesterday, that coming back in the first. 0 for 4, comfortable 0 for 4 for him. Well, he's behind 0-2 on curveballs. Steady diet of breaking balls now from Junt immediately after the home run from Custer. Here's the 0-2. Curveball, and that's foul tipped in and out of the glove of Declan Brown. Mayer just barely got a piece of that. Well, now the left fielder Hartnett playing extremely deep. The wind has calmed down a bit, blowing out to left, but that's just a launch zone. That one's ripped over the head of the second baseman Gilligan into right. A sweet swing from Mayer going the opposite field, and he's aboard with 1 out. That'll bring up MJ Kim. Kim came in the first inning after the first pitch was issued to replace B.Y. Choi, and a nice going away ceremony for him. Kim's been a regular in the lineup for the Lefties as of late as that curveball misses low. Kim went 0 for 3 yesterday. Was hit by a pitch and walked early on. Low 2-0. Brown fakes the throw back to first. So the Dudes will set up to turn 2. The Lefties now leading 2-1. The catcher Ott waiting on deck. Oh, they have Brock Mayer picked off. And he is out. Wonder if he was thinking about running it all. He's still standing on the first base bag as now he walks off. I guess caught in between. I don't know. Just not much of a reaction at first on the pickoff. So 2 away now. 2-0 the count to Kim. Way upstairs 3-0. Kim is usually a very aggressive hitter. Wonderful to see him take all the way. And he does take all the way, and he takes a strike on the inner half. As MJ was starting to walk down the first. Here's the 3-1 from Junt. Popped up into the screen, foul. Ahead of this 3-2 pitch, we'll take a look at the Dudes defensively. It's Reed Brock at third, Cedric Gather back at short, Angus Gilligan playing back at second base again. Indy Anderson's the first baseman, Declan Brown behind the plate for the third straight night. Alex Hartnett is in left, Hagen Bowen the center fielder, Rutger Yauch in right, and Ryan Junt working his second inning as the starter. And the 3-2 is way upstairs, so now Kim will be able to take his base. First walk of the game issued by Junt. And that brings up Halen Ott. 1 for 3 yesterday with a double. Also getting hit by a pitch and walked. That was a sweet swing he had yesterday. Check on the runner. Kim goes back in standing up just ahead of the tag. Kim better be careful over there. He's had his base running issues throughout the season. A short lead for him, and the first pitch is over the head of Ott, and it goes back to the fence. So a wild pitch. More wild pitches for Dudes pitching. Junt comes set. Here's the 1-0. Check swing, high. 2-0 the count. John Whitehead waiting on deck. I think I could speak for everybody saying we'd love to see him come up with men in scoring position. Fouled into the screen. There's Whitehead grabbing the foul ball and tossing it back to the umpire. So 2-1 the count, 2 outs. Kim looming at second. Lefties have already scored 1 on the homer from Custer. Looking for more. Second baseman Gilligan keeping the runner close. Kim getting way off the bag. Dancing all over. Curveball low, 3-1. And now you have the right fielder, Yauch, playing, well, medium deep, but way over towards the line. And the center fielder, Bowen, is playing in left center. A lot of room in right center. The 3-1 way outside, ball 4. And now here comes Whitehead. RBI chance for him, winning yesterday's fan contest. He'll be in the lineup today as the 10th man and a designated hitter. He's played baseball the last 17 years after finishing college at Jamestown College in North Dakota. Oh, and a snap throw back to second. It goes about 3 feet over everyone's head. So everyone moves up 1 base. Kim into third, Ott up to second. goodness, second error of the day for the dudes. That one going on Junt. A pickoff attempt, just trying to go behind Kim, and that might have gone 3 feet over everyone's head. That was not remotely close. Ooh, pitcher's pitch on the outside corner, 0-1. Whitehead spent some time playing in the Marlins organization. So he swings and misses right there. Playing for them as a pitcher. He's participated in the Amateur Baseball World Series. Currently playing Beer League softball in Port Angeles. As he goes down on 3 pitches right there. So the lefties leave a couple. They are able to take the lead, though. The solo home run from Cam Custer. Cam staying hot. We saw Whitehead's first at bat. You'll see at least 2 more from him, if not 3, perhaps. Even might even see him pitch a little bit later today. 2-1 lefties through 2 over the dudes. Welcome back to Civic Field, everybody. I'm Evan Schmeiser. Top of the 3rd inning we go. Declan Brown, Mason Gronwald, and Reed Brock will be the hitters. Evan Bates will get back to work. So first pitch curveball misses low. The 1-0 is outside, 2-0 the count. Bates now getting back to work, stake to a 2-1 lead. Able to work around traffic in the second, but a scoreless second. At the knees, 2-1. Two-one, changeup misses inside, 3-1 the count. That was cool seeing Whitehead get his first at bat just a moment ago. As a 3-1 is nubbed, just foul. Delayed reaction from the field umpire down there. He had to get out of the way of the ball first. So 3-2 the count. Was able to talk to John's fiance before, as I was walking back up to the booth. His whole family's out here. She said, reliving his glory days. It's always a beautiful thing when you're able to do that. 3-2, check swing up the first base line. Taylor stays down on it. He'll take it to the bag himself. 3 unassisted, 1 away. It brings up Gronwald. Well, Mason picked up from where he left off last night. He singled his only at bat in the first. The second baseman, Samura, playing over the pole and in the outfield grass. Curveball just inside. You have Custer playing a little bit over towards the line. Everybody else straight up. Another curveball, check swing, foul. So Bates doubling up on the breakers. Out of the windup, his 1-1 is fouled down the left field line towards the parking lot. Trying to remember where I parked. I don't think that was far enough to get my car. The 1-2, swung on and missed. 4th strikeout of the game for Evan Bates, 2 away. Our public address announcer for today, Nelson, played the car bashing window sound as soon as I said all the foul ball stuff. Nelson knows how to push all the right buttons, I tell you. Reed Brock bounced into a 6-4-3 double play his last time up. As he goes after that first one, 0-1 the count. Ended up getting Bates and the Lefties out of a first inning jam with the bases loaded. As that one's popped up, foul territory right side, and that'll get up on the screen. So 0-2 the count. Bates trying to work another clean inning. In the dirt, almost got a piece of Brock. So 1-2 the count. Bates trying to pick up a 1-2-3 frame in the third, especially against the middle of the order. The 1-2, low, 2-2. So Bates still working out of the windup, trying to pick up another shutdown frame. His 2-2 inside 3-2. For the second time in this early outing, Bates working ahead of a guy 0-2 and then having it work back to a full count. 3-2 off the end of the bat. Alsop stays down on it at third. Across the diamond, plenty of time to get Brock. So a clean 1-2-3 inning for Evan Bates and the Lefties. Through 3 full, 2-1 Port Angeles over Redmond as we journey on to the fourth. As we get ready for the bottom of the third, everybody, this thing will be brought to you by Leets. Leets Farm Supply and Equipment Sales is the Peninsula's premier family-owned farm supply and equipment dealership, where we service what we sell. Shop local, support local, shop Leets Farm Supply. So Ryan Junt will get back to work. Lefties getting the bats going again. Becker, Samura, and Jackson. A check swing called high. They appeal the call to the first base umpire, and he's not even looking at the home plate umpire. So now he goes to the third base umpire, and no swing. That's a weird look of a guy just not even looking down. Becker singled and came around to score his only time up as he works ahead 2-0. You gotta love a guy who stays through the middle of the field. Here's the 2-0. Curveball on the 2-0 pitch, misses low. Boy, the game has changed. You just have pitchers throwing anything they want on any given count. 3-0 fastball. Becker gets the green light. He pops it up. Short left field. Hartnett comes in, and he makes the two-handed grab. With one out, it brings up Royce Samura. Sacrifice bunt for him is only time up to advance Becker over the third, eventually leading to the lefties' first run. So this time he bats with nobody aboard. The outfield playing shallow. Samura shows bunt again. He tried to pull it back. Looks like the umpire said he went around, though, or just didn't pull it back in time. The switch hitter, Royce Samura. Got to see him bat right-handed once yesterday. 0-2, that fastball catches the outer corner. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Junt. Swung on and missed. Third strikeout of the game for Ryan Junt. He gets Samura on 3 pitches. And that brings up Trent Jackson. Sacrifice fly to right for him back in the first. Boy, Trent has been seeing the ball extremely well. Curveball in there for a strike. We saw a lot of fastballs from Junt in the first, and it's been maybe a majority off speed since then. Big swing and a miss from Jackson. He's behind 0-2. So Junt trying to answer Bates back with a 1-2-3 inning of his own. 0-2, misses low, and it bounces away from everybody. Well, there's Taylor to go retrieve the foul ball. So Junt is ready. Here's his 1-2 pitch to Jackson. Outside 2-2. A familiar sight, a group of youngsters playing beyond the right field fence. So that 2-2 is off the end of the bat, foul. Yeah, but they're playing long toss. Yep, there's some long toss going on right now. Looks like a young man playing with dad. That is a beautiful thing. Here's the 2-2. Curveball swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ryan Junt. He's up to 4 now through 3. He's able to work a 1-2-3 half. Through 3 full, still 2-1 lefties over the Redmond Dudes. This final home game for the lefties before a short road trip. Well, as we get ready for the top of the fourth, everybody, Evan Batesel just finishing up his warm-up pitches. He'll deal with the 6, 7, and 8 batters, Youch, Anderson, and Hartnett. Little geographic stuff, you guys. U.S. Highway 101 was one of the first highways to be designated by the Bureau of Public Roads. It was established back in 1925 to run south to north along the west coast from San Diego to Canada. Runs through places like Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, Monterey. Boy, I love me some Monterey, I tell you. San Jose, California. Eureka being just south of the Redwoods National Park. Boy, the Redwoods National Park is something else. It's one of those otherworldly things you have to check out. Kind of like the Red Rocks of Arizona and the Pacific Northwest. First pitch is bounced foul by Rucker Youch. 0 for 1 today with a ground out. 101 also runs right through downtown Port Angeles. Inside 1-1. Just one of those surprising things to see. Just looks kind of like a typical downtown 2-lane road running through a small town. So that one's lined down the left field line. It's going to be a fair ball and get up against the fence. Custer over to get it. And Youch takes the turn, and he'll dig into second with a leadoff double. Oh, the dude's looking for some damage from the bottom of the lineup. This time it'll be Indy Anderson. Went down on strikes, his only at bat. 1 of 4 punch outs for Bates. Well, we'll have to wait on the first pitch as Bates spins around to check on the runner. The shortstop, MJ Kim, keeping him close. The corner's also back. The first pitch is ripped through the hole on the right side for a hit. Jackson comes up charging. Youch is going to be waved home. The throw from Trent is way offline. It kicks off the fence way up the third base line. RBI single for Indy Anderson, and we're tied at 2. Boy, that ball was hit hard, and Jackson really charged it well. Might be one of those things where he just got a little too excited and just let her rip. It was definitely a strong throw, just not anywhere close to the plate. So it brings up Hartnett. He went down on strikes back in the second. In the dirt, 1-0. Ott able to keep it around him. The lefties were able to get a double play ball back in the first. Would like another one here. Dudes have tied the game with back-to-back hits to start the fourth. Off the end of the bat, foul up the third base line. As far as 101 is concerned, there's a good chance after this season ends I'll be heading back down to the Sacramento area, and I plan to take 101 all the way down there. That 1-1 is towards the hole on the right side. That'll leak in the right for a hit. Anderson will stop at second. So 3 consecutive hits to start the fourth. A run's already scored, first and second, nobody out.
Now batting the second baseman, Angus Gilligan.
This time it'll be Angus Gilligan. He reached on an error by MJ Kim in the second. Bates could use a similar ground ball to that. Down and away, 1-0. Taylor playing in front of Hartnett at first, just in case of a bunt. As time is called, here comes Earl Smith. Ott coming out too. Taylor was initially going to jog in, and now he'll go back to first. You can't blame Chase there too much. He's used to being a part of these pitchers, coaches meetings during his catching times. Not his job today, necessarily. A very short conversation. Seemed like Smith was out there for about maybe 5 seconds at most. He started to jog back. Ott continued the conversation a bit longer with Bates. Yeah, Smith jogs out there pretty quickly. Short conversation, then he jogs back. He shows bunt. Gilligan pulls it back. And it's called a ball. Wasn't sure at first if Gilligan was able to pull it back in time. So that draws Alsop in, playing even with the bag at third. Here's the 2-0. Gilligan shows bunt again. He pulls it back. The pitch is way inside. You definitely don't want to walk a guy who's giving himself up. We'll likely see a take all the way from Angus. The 3-0, Gilligan does not square and he takes a strike. No action in the lefties' bullpen. Bates has had to deal with a lot of traffic. The pitch is piling up. His 3-1, he gets a swing and a miss. A challenge fastball. Will we see another one to the ninth hitter? All the damage done from the bottom of the dude's lineup. Here's the 3-2. Swung on and missed. 5th punch out of the day for Bates, and he needed that. Couple challenge fastballs getting swings and misses from Gilligan. Back to the top of the order we go. It brings up Cedric Gather. Hit by a pitch and scored in the first. He singled in the second. The middle infielders are pinched way over to the second base bag, and a curveball misses inside. Lots of room to hit a ground ball through the hole. Especially Samura playing almost on top of the second base bag. And that one is through the hole on the left side for a hit. Anderson will get the stop sign. This Custer wasn't playing all that deep. So the bases are loaded with nobody out. Dangerous spot for Bates and the Lefties. It'll be Hagen Bowen. He swung a hot bat this entire series. He struck out his last at bat, was hit by a pitch in the first. Anderson at third, Hartnett at second, Cedric Gatter at first. And that curveball, I don't know how that did not hit Bowen. Did that go under his legs? Here's the 1-0. In the dirt, 2-0. This would not be a good time for Evan Bates to lose his command. A tie game at 2. The Dudes have already scored once. At 2-0 is low, 3-0. I would expect a take from Bowen. Nowhere to put him. Bases loaded, 1 out. That's in the dirt. A 4-pitch walk will force in a run. Anderson will trot home to score. It's now 3-2 Dudes. Yet another RBI for Hagen Bowen. And that brings up Declan Brown. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single in the first. So the Lefties will play the corners even with the bags as time is called at home plate. The middle infielders will set up to turn 2. Bates has been getting some of the ground balls he needs, just they're finding holes. That's right down the pike for a strike. Jackson is playing extremely deep and right, even with the right-handed batter up. Curveball, and that does graze the leg of Brown. So a bases-loaded walk and a hit batter will force in another run. Now 4-2. Alex Hartnett will cross the plate this time. So now it's Mason Gronwald. 1 for 2 with a single back in the first. He swings and misses at the first pitch. Might have helped out Bates a little on that one. Here's the 0-1. One's off the hands, back towards the middle. Kim will touch the second base back for 1. That'll turn into an easy double play. Good job from MJ Kim to execute that one. So that finally retires the side. Could have been a lot worse. The Dudes able to put 3 runs across the plate. 3 straight hits to open the inning. Take advantage of a bases-loaded walk and a bases-loaded hit by pitch. So the Lefties offense will need to get back to work as we head to the bottom of the 4th. The Dudes leading 4-2. So we head to the bottom of the fourth. Chase Taylor, Cam Custer, and Owen Alsup will be the hitters. Ryan Junt will get back to work for his fourth inning in the start. His first pitch is outside 1-0. Taylor struck out his only at bat coming in the first. So the Dudes put up 3 runs a moment ago back in the third as Taylor hits that one foul. For right now, a rare sight at Civic Field. The flags are still, well, almost as still as they can get. Very little wind as that fastball's in there for a strike. 1-2 the count. And Junt already gets the ball back, standing right on the rubber. Here's his 1-2 pitch. That one's ripped down the left field line. Over his Hartnett. That's going to drop for a fair ball. Taylor hustling out of the box. He's going to dig for 2. He'll get in there standing up. Great piece of hitting from Chase Taylor with a leadoff double. That's a good way to try and get the offense going again. That brings up Cam Custer. A solo home run for him back in the second. At the very least, the Lefties could use the kind of hit that gets Taylor over the third. The left fielder Hartnett playing extremely deep. Everyone else straight up as Junt steps off and checks on Taylor. The second baseman Gilligan keeping the runner close. Lots of room on the right side. The first pitch curveball is outside. We've seen that borderline outside pitch to a righty go both ways. The shortstop Gather playing Custer to pull, way over towards the hole. Good swing of that one as he fouls it back. That was an aggressive hack from Cam. As time is called at home plate, we're going to get a meeting on the mound. There is action in the Dudes' bullpen. From our vantage point, not really able to see down there, at least who it is, but we can tell there's some guys throwing. And there's also action in the Lefties' bullpen. So I wonder if we'll see Bates come back out for the fifth. Well, almost as soon as I said the flags weren't really going anymore, now they're back at close to full tilt. The leaves on those trees going pretty strong as well. So as the meeting concludes, it's a 1-1 count to Custer. Taylor at second with a leadoff double. And Ryan Junt will get back to work. Certainly a meeting like that meant to buy some time for the pitcher and the bullpen. Here's the 1-1. Lifted foul into the screen, 1-2. As Custer steps out, trying to regather himself. At the very least, trying to move Taylor up to third. Lots of room at the hole on the right side. Taylor getting way off the bag. In the dirt, and it gets through Brown to the backstop. Well, that works well, too. Another wild pitch. Taylor up to third. Already the fourth wild pitch for Ryan Junt. That's been an issue for every Dude starting pitcher we've seen. Here's the 2-2 as Junt comes set. That curveball just low, 3-2. Here's the 3-2. Just low again, ball 4. A good at bat from Cam, and that'll bring up Owen Alsup. It puts men on first and third with nobody out for the Lefties.
Now batting the third baseman, number 39.
At the moment, a good answer from the Lefties after allowing 3 runs in the top half of the fourth. Trailing 4-2. Alsup struck out looking his only at bat. He went down on 3 pitches. Oh, and they have Custer in a rundown. The throw's back to first. Now over to second. Here comes Taylor to the plate. He's going to come in to score. Cam's still on a rundown. The throw comes back to second. This is a long rundown. The throws are adding up. And now finally he'll get tagged out by Cedric Gather. Well, not quite the way the Lefties drew it up. I guess Cam was thinking about running on the pitch. He got himself picked off. Not a great rundown execution from the dudes. Just way too many throws, and they just let Taylor come across to score easily. So now 4-3. First pitch to Alsop. That curveball misses just high. So 1 out and nobody on base now. 4-3 dudes over the Lefties. 1-0 from Junt on the outside corner, 1-1. Junt now picking up the pace with nobody on. That one's hit hard out to right center. On the run is Bowen. He's still going back. And that one's going to get up against the fence. Alsop will dig his way into second with his 9th double of the season. Comes into today tied for third, still tied for third for the the West Coast League lead in doubles. Sadly, his previous 2 doubles coming in non-league play won't count to those numbers. Second double of the inning for the Lefties, and Alsop able to get the rally going again. It brings up Mayer, who singled his only at bat in the second. First pitch curveball at the knees. The second baseman, Gilligan, keeping Alsop close again. Not really a threat to run. He's getting a good lead, though. On the outside corner, 0-2. To the count. Mayer trying to stay alive. Looking to tie the game for the Lefties. Up and away, 1-2. Calm at the ballpark right now. Junt comes set. Here's the 1-2. That ball's ripped foul down the left field line. Mayer just a bit out in front that time. Alsop at second after doubling a moment ago. Representing the tying run early. Longer looking this time from Junt. A look back at the runner. Now he comes set. Gilligan going back to cover second as Junt steps off. Well, got to give Alsop a lot of credit right here. Not really a base stealing threat, but working hard out there to get in Junt's head. Here's the 1-2 again. That one's lifted high in the air down the left field line. Brock in the foul territory by the dude's dugout, and he's able to make the catch. A couple pop-ups now where he's looked very awkward trying to put it away. With 2 outs, it brings up MJ Kim.
Now batting the shortstop, number 11.
Kim was hit by a pitch, his only at bat. Came in after the first pitch in the top of the first inning to replace B.Y. Choi. Really good chance B.Y. will get drafted on the outside corner, 0-1. Or at the very least, even if that doesn't happen, B.Y. will likely head back to Dallas Baptist University to get ready for next spring. That curveball upstairs, 1-1. A base hit could tie the game. The left fielder Hartnett playing straight up death. Bowen in center and Yauch in right. They're playing pretty shallow. The 1-1 swung on and missed. It gets through Brown, though. Up to third goes Alsop. 5th wild pitch of the game for Junt. I think Brown's also wondering how that ball got through him. Well, now a base hit will surely tie the game. And if you're Alsop, you need to get a good walking lead just in case another one gets through Declan Brown. The 1-2 fastball is outside. Brown tried to bring it back. Working out the stretch. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Brown's going to toss it down to first to finish off the strikeout. And that'll retire the side. The Lefties do leave one. They're able to cut the deficit in half. Taylor able to get started with a double. And eventually come around to score thanks to a base running mistake from Cam Custer. 4-3 Dudes as we head to the fifth, everybody. Don't go anywhere. Five, six, seven coming up for the Dudes in their half of the fifth. Reed Brock, Rucker Youch, and Indy Anderson. Cade Stewart's out of Edmonds College in the pitch in relief for Evan Bates. Good life on that fastball. He misses in the dirt. So Bates going the first 4 innings, allowing 4. As the Dudes lead 4-3 at the moment as that one's fouled at the plate. Stewart's another new addition for the Lefties. A broad-shouldered, slender right-hander. Working out of the windup. Looked like a curveball in there for a strike. Bit of a herky-jerky, kind of deceptive delivery. That fastball misses just high, 2-2 the count. So Stewart in the face of the bottom half of the lineup. Trying to keep it where it is. 4-3 Dudes. Redmond able to put 3 runs on the board in their half of the fourth. That one's back towards the middle. Kim stays down on it. A pretty good play right there to stay with it. That was pretty smooth right there from MJ. With 1 out, it brings up Rutger Youch. He doubled to lead off the fourth. Eventually came around to score the first of 3 runs. Also bounced into a double play. First pitch on the outside corner, 0-1. So the end of the line for Evan Bates. First 4 innings, 4 runs, all of them earned. Coming on 7 hits, 3 hit batters, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. 0-2 the count to Youch. So Bates definitely battled. Worked hard in his first outing on the mound in a while. Oh, look out. That one hit right off the helmet of Rutger Youch. He drops the bat. His helmet came flying off. He's walking around home plate. Looks like the helmet broke. Youch is walking around right now. Can't tell if he's playing to stay in the game or not. Yeah, it looks like he is, just waiting on a teammate to bring him a new helmet. He's having a conversation right now. It looks like Youch is saying he's good to go. Obviously, you have to double check on these kind of things. Pat on the back. And it's good. That's good to see. Rucker Youch jogging his way to first. So a one-out base runner, the fourth batter that a Lefties pitcher has hit today. Now it's Indy Anderson. RBI single for him in the fourth. He eventually came around to score. So Youch aboard with a pretty good lead. The first pitch is lined foul over the dude's dugout. The Lefties set up to turn two. I'm a bit surprised to see the second baseman Samura playing so close to the second base bag, even with the left-handed batter up. That one's towards the hole on the right side. Samura flags it down. He only has one play as he goes to first. Thought about trying to get the out at second. I think he thought wiser, though. So Youch up to second. It brings up Alex Hartnett. That's already the third or fourth ball we've seen hit by a dude's player towards the hole on the right side there. Just a little surprised at the positioning. Well, now with 2 outs, Samura goes to play in the more typical second base spot as that one misses inside. Jackson is very deep in right. He could practically shake hands with the fence. At the knees, 1-1. Custer in left is quite shallow. And Becker in center, he's on the deeper side, shaded towards left center. The 1-1 is popped foul. So 1-2 the count to Alex Hartnett. Rucker Youch looming at second after getting hit by a pitch in the helmet earlier. Swung on and missed. First strikeout in the Lefties uniform for Cade Stewart. That retires the side. No runs, no hits, 1 man left for the Dudes. Clean inning for Cade. The Lefties bats will get back to work in their half of the fifth. Bottom of the fifth coming up for the Lefties as they trail the Dudes 4-3 on getaway day. Palin Ott, the 10th man, John Whitehead, and the leadoff man, Kyle Becker, will get us started. Ryan Jund will get back to work, at least for the fifth. Going each of the first 4, 6 strikeouts at the moment. Sitting on a 1-run lead. First pitch curveball to Ott is on the outside corner. So at least on curveballs, that outer half to righties has been open for business. That one's hit in the air. down the third base line. Brock going all over the place, and he can't make the play. So he started back, then kind of did a C formation, coming over in the foul territory, so an error on him. Brock's had a tough time over there. That's 3 pop-ups going over to him. He's only made, well, 2 of them he's missed them, and even the one he caught was not pretty. So Ott able to stay alive. That curveball's low. 1-2 the count for Halen. He walked his only appearance coming in the second. The 1-2 curveball off the end of the bat, looped out to right center. Bowen was playing over towards left. Well, that ball is hit pretty well. It actually gets near the wall in center. Ott will dig his way into second with a leadoff double. Wow, did that ball jump off the bat of Halen Ott? I mean, that was basically a half swing. It looked like it was off the end, and it landed pretty close to the fence out there. Well, we'll certainly take it. And that brings up Whitehead. He struck out on 3 pitches, his only at bat. The fan winner of yesterday's bucket throwing competition. Batting in the 10th spot for the Lefties as a second designated hitter. He shows bunt and pulls it back. So Whitehead looks like he's up there to try and sacrifice Ott to third. This is some old school National League baseball. He shows bunt again, and he pops it up, and it's just out of the reach of Declan Brown. So a foul ball, the count stays 1-1. Yeah, this takes me back to my childhood. It takes me back only a couple years ago with National League pitchers up there to sacrifice bunts. And Whitehead was a pitcher going through college and his time as a professional. 1-1 the count. The infield set up for a bunt. Whitehead shows bunt, and it's a good one. Down the third base line, jumped up with it, and the throw to first is high, and it gets away. Whitehead takes the turn. He's hustling his way to second. Ott crosses the plate. A sacrifice bunt and reaching on an error. John Whitehead has tied the game at 4 for the Lefties. As this Civic Field crowd serenading John Whitehead. He claps his hands at second. That's what everybody wanted to see. John Whitehead on the bases. Now that's just sick. That's awesome, I tell you. What's that now, the 4th error of the game for the Dudes? As Becker takes the first pitch outside. 4-4 Lefties over the Dudes. So let's see, a pretty short 3-step lead at second for Whitehead. So that one's fouled straight back. He's not really taking much of a secondary. Wonder how he'll be running the bases. Now you wonder if he's planned for running the bases. It's a lot different than beer league softball. Curveball low. 2-1 the count. Like, how about if Kyle Becker ends up getting a base hit? And then is Acker going to wave Whitehead around? The 2-1. High 3-1. Now that was a pretty good secondary. Whitehead's a pretty good-looking athlete. You can tell he definitely still plays and stays active. But of a silver fox with a mix of gray in his beard. That 3-1 is lifted foul down the left field line. Silver Fox is what they called Chase Utley during his elder days with the Dodgers. Loved me some Chase Utley back in the day. The 3-2 from Ryan Junt. Upstairs, ball 4. It puts men on first and second with nobody out. The Lefties have already tied the game. They're threatening for more.
Now batting the second baseman.
And it brings up Royce Samura. He's 0 for 1. A sacrifice bunt back in the first. He struck out in the third. As time is called, we're going to get a meeting on the mound. Wonder if this is going to be the end of the day for Ryan Junt. No signal to the bullpen as of right now. Looks like they're talking about some mechanical stuff on the mound, too. Well, Akers brought in both base runners, as well as Samura at the plate. It's been a common thing, meeting with all the guys when these mound visits happen in between the mound or in between home plate and third. Well, and both huddles disperse. Everybody will go back to their spots. Earl Smith was in that huddle, too, coming from the first base coach's box. Now we wonder, will Samura show bunt again? The dudes will surely set up just in case. So the corners are in. The second baseman, Gilligan, playing quite shallow. Samura already showing bunt, and he takes outside. Whitehead better be careful. Brown thought about throwing behind him at second. So Samura up there with Millen first and second, nobody out, looking to sacrifice him over. He shows bunt, the corner's charge, and it's a good one down the third base line. Jumped up with it. They're going to go to third, and out is a call at third. Good hustle from Whitehead. He even went in there sliding. Definitely looking like a ball player. Doesn't run quite as well as some of the other guys. Probably doesn't run as well as he did 17 years ago. Understandably so. Productive inning for him. He's forced out at third. So 1-5 on that put out. First pitch to Trent Jackson, just outside. So Becker now up to second and Samura on first. Good speed all the way around. The outfielder's playing pretty deep on Jackson, so a hit should give the lefties the lead. That one's lifted high in the air, short right. Youch comes sprinting in. He makes the call and the catch as the throw comes into second. Well, Junt had Jackson out in front of that one.
The first baseman, number 18.
And that'll bring up Chase Taylor. He smoked a double down the left field line his last at bat in the fourth. Eventually came around to score. It initially cut the game to a 4-3 deficit for Port Angeles. The second baseman, Gilligan, keeping Becker close. First pitch to Taylor, misses high. Well, the left fielder, Hartnett, is playing quite shallow on Taylor. I'm a little surprised to see how shallow everybody's playing him. He's got pop. Curveball. Ooh, and Junt gets the call. 1-1 the count. The flag's close to full tilt once again, going right to left. Hartnett should really move back. With the wind and Taylor hitting. Becker doing some dancing, and there he goes. As that one's lifted into the screen. Well, Becker, it's a shame. He's going to have to go back. He had third base stolen. Samura was also following from first. Becker looking for his first stolen base in the lefties uniform. Long looking from Junt. Now we come set. A tie game at 4. 1-2 the count. 2 outs, first and second. And we'll have to wait for it as Junt spins around and fakes the throw to second. Well, Taylor digs back in. A big hole on the right side. Bowen in center, still playing over towards left center. Junt's still looking in. Now he finally comes set. Here's the 1-2. That's lifted high in the air to center. Bowen makes the call. He comes jogging in, and he makes the two-handed grab. So that'll end the frame, but the damage has been done. John Whitehead, successful sacrifice bunt and a throw, take advantage of a throwing error, was able to bring home Halen Ott. We're all knotted up at 4 as we head to the top of the 6th, right here at Civic Field. Well, it's a new ball game heading to the top of the sixth, everybody. The ninth man, Angus Gilligan, will get us started. Cedric Gatter, Hagen Bowen will be the hitters. Kate Stewart back to work for his second inning out of the bullpen as the first pitch is popped foul. Gilligan's 0 for 2 today. He reached on an error by Kim at short. Back in fourth ball game towards the halfway point as that one's lifted down the right field line. Jackson on the run, and it's going to drop just foul. Maybe foul by about 6 inches. So the count moves to 0-2. Stewart able to work a clean fifth inning, allowing just a hit batter. Well, so Gilligan picks up his bat again, and he'll settle back in behind 0-2. Stewart's he's ready to go. He's been standing on the rubber for a good 10 seconds at least. A deep breath. Here's his 0-2 out of the windup. Back towards the middle. Stopped by Samura. Off-balance throw, nowhere near in time. Really nice effort from Royce. He gets a nice little round of applause just for the effort.
Now batting the shortstop, Cedric Gatter.
So the sixth hit of the day for the Dudes as a team, and it brings up the leadoff man, Gatter. He's 2 for 2 today with a couple base hits. He's been on base all 3 times. A good lead from Gilligan. The first pitch is in the dirt. Hot, good play. Kept that one right around him. No chance for Gilligan to advance. Gilligan has not stolen a base this season, as that pitch is hit foul. Then again, he hasn't been on base that many times. So that could affect some of those numbers. 1-1 the count to Gatter. The lefties set up to turn 2. A check on the runner. Ooh, just barely back in time is Gilligan. He went back and standing up and nearly cost him. A quick athletic move from the righty Stewart. That's some quick feet. Now the wind picks up again at Civic Field. Stewart better step off. Gilligan looks runnerish. There he goes. The pitch is taken outside. The throw down on one hop. Oh, safe at second. Wow. I thought Samura was able to pick it up on the hop and apply the tag. Even with the throw skipping in, it actually skipped pretty quickly on that grass, and it actually beat him. So first stolen base of the season for Gilligan. 2-1 the count to Cedric Gatter. Well, now it's the Dudes' turn. See if they can manufacture a run. In the dirt, blocked by Ott. Snap throw to second, and they have Gilligan in the rundown. Throw over to third, but it's wide of Alsop. It kicks off the Dudes' dugout and rolls back towards the pitcher's mound. Oh, really, really good heads-up play from Halen Ott. Throwing behind the runner, and Samura's throw from second was just far wide of Alsop. No chance for Owen to try and make a play on that throw. Well, the third straight day, both teams are not making a lot of the plays. Oh, where did that one miss? I guess it was high. So Gatter will take his base on the walk. I guess that missed high. So first and third with nobody out. It brings up a dangerous hitter in Hagen Bowen. He walked his last time up to force in a run. In the dirt, 1-0. Well, you have a base open, but you have another dangerous hitter in Declan Brown waiting on deck. Chase Taylor's holding the runner on at first. Alsop even with the third base bag. That one's out towards second. This could be 2. Samura to second for 1. Kim back to first. In time. A 4-6-3 double play. A run does come across to score. That's Gilligan. It's 5-4 Dudes. That was a nicely turned double play, though.
Now batting the catcher, number 32, Declan Brown.
So that brings up Declan Brown. You'd much rather see him with nobody on base. Soft ground ball up the third base line. Alsop charges, gloves it, throws on the run. On one hop, in time. Owen Alsop continues to play some nifty defense at third, and that retires the side in the sixth. The Dudes are able to take the lead. Angus Gilligan crossing the plate on the double play ball, taking advantage of an error in the field. 5-4 Dudes as the Lefties will look to answer back again in the sixth.
Now batting the left.
Welcome back to Civic Field, ladies and gentlemen. The Lefties will try and get the bats going again, trailing 5-4 to the Dudes. Redmond was able to respond with a run of their own in the top of the sixth. Cam Custer, Owen Alsop, and Brock Mayer will be the batters. And a new pitcher for Redmond, Ben Edwards, will come on in relief of Ryan Junt, who went the first 5 innings. Trying to maintain a 1-run lead for the Dudes. Custer homered his first time up and walked in the fourth. Out of the windup, the first pitch is a called strike at the belt. Pitch we've seen a couple times not go the way of the Lefties. It's gone. No, it's a pitch that's sometimes been a strike, sometimes it hasn't been. Curveball, that's in the dirt, 1-1 the count. Ben Edwards, a 6-foot, 190-pound righty out of Skagit Valley College. Last outing came back on the 26th against the Gumbaroos as that one's fouled into the screen. An inning in that one, 1 hit allowed, 1 walk. Overall, it's his 6 games, 7 2/3 innings this summer. 12 walks and 13 hits. That's a lot of base runners. In the dirt, 2-2 as that kicks off the leg of the umpire. Well, when you allow 15 base runners in 7 2/3 innings, your ERA is going to be high. 12.91 for Ben Edwards. And a dangerous hitter for the Lefties in Custer. The 2-2 is a cue shot up the first base line. Anderson off the bag. Edwards able to get there to cover. That turned into a pretty easy play. 3-1 on that putout. And that brings up Owen Alsop. He doubled to the wall in right center his last time up in the fourth. 1 for 2 today. We'll see if Owen can try and get a rally going again. Back and forth we've gone the past couple innings. 5-4 Dudes over the Lefties. Slow curveball high. Out of the windup, here's the 1-0. Upstairs, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 out of the windup to Alsop. Upstairs 3-0. See if Alsop gets a take sign here. Here's the 3-0. Looks like he does, and he takes a strike. 3-1 the count. 1 out, nobody on for the Lefties, trailing 5-4 to the Dudes. Trying to salvage one of these 3 games against Redmond. The 3-1 from Edwards, big swing and a miss. The Dudes have been able to beat the Lefties in both of these first 2 games, coming into the 9th being tied and putting up a run. Here's the 3-2 coming in. Fouled straight back. Well, as Edwards gets a new baseball, everybody playing straight up. Even with the doubles last time out, Bowen and center not playing very deep. That 3-2 is way upstairs, ball 4. The first walk issued by Edwards. And that'll bring up Mayer. The tying run now at first. Mayer 1 for 2 today with a single back in the second. One of the 2 designated hitters for Port Angeles. The Dudes will set up to try and turn 2. And they'll hold Alsop on at first. Not much of a threat to run them, but we've seen Alsop able to just get in the pitcher's head just from some good leads. And he has a good, strong lead. In the dirt, there goes Alsop. The ball gets away from Brown. Boy, I love to see that. You don't have to be the fastest guy in the world to be really smart on the bases and take advantage of the little things. Really good lead, really good secondary, reading that ball well in the dirt. And the wild pitch issues still continue for the Dudes. A long look back at Alsop at second, and that pitch misses way upstairs. 2-0 the count to Mayer. And this is awfully familiar. You have Alsop now at second, getting a good lead, forcing the pitcher to pay more attention to him. See if Mayer can take advantage of that. The 2-0 is down and away 3-0. We saw Kyle Becker get a green light earlier in the game on the 3-0 count. Wonderful to see it for Mayer. A base hit could tie it. The outfielder's now playing reasonably deep. At 3-0, down and away, a 4-pitch walk. Already the second walk of the inning. It's an issue for Edwards. As time is called, we're going to get a meeting on the mound. First and second with 1 out. The batter will be MJ Kim. Well, it's just the pitching coach as well as Declan Brown, the catcher, going out to the mound. Doesn't look like anyone's up in the Redmond bullpen. It's also quiet in the Lefties pen. A lot of pointing going on the mound. I would have to think it involves trying to hold Alsop on at second. As the home plate umpire starts to walk out to break up the huddle, everybody will go back to their spots. Lefties trying to tie this game up as they trail by 1. A lot of base runners all the way around. So the Dudes look to turn 2. The second baseman, Angus Gilligan, will hold Alsop on, who's really just made life tough out there on Dudes pitching. First pitch to Kim is a little high. Edwards took a little off that one. The right center alleyway is wide open. You have Yauch and Wright playing pretty straight up. And Bowen, he's just been playing out there by left center the entire game. He's hardly moved from that spot. Check swing in the dirt. Brown able to keep it around him. You have Anderson at first playing behind Mayer. Still not very deep. A shorter lead now from Alsep. Well, he inches off just a little bit further. Playing cat and mouse with Gilligan in the pitcher. High 3-0. And you already have a guy who struggles with command. You have Owen Alsep really doing a good job at second, just dancing out there, moving around, forcing the pitcher to pay attention to him. Here's the 3-0. In the dirt, ball 4. The bases are loaded with 1 out. The lefties are in business.
He's the catcher, number 30.
Already the 3rd walk of the inning loads the bases. And that brings up a now dangerous hitter in Ott. A double to the right center field wall his last time up in the 5th. Eventually came around to score to tie it at 4. And you have Whitehead waiting on deck. As Ott calls time to adjust his batting gloves. Now he'll settle his way in. Oh, and a pitch clock violation has been called. Who's that going to go against? Looks like they're calling it against Ott. He did take an extra while longer. Well, now the home plate umpire is coming out to talk about it. Well, the home plate umpire doesn't seem to agree with his partner in the field. He's shaking his head going, I guess that's strike 1. Well, an umpire crew not quite on the same page. So Owen won the count to Halen Ott. Wonder if they weren't sure all the way around if they were going with the pitch clock. Upstairs 1-1. I mean, non-league play, technically they can do whatever they want as far as some of those extracurricular rules are concerned. A longer look in. Edwards comes set. Here comes the 1-1. High 2-1. I mean, if you're Edwards, you definitely take that because strikes have been tough to come by. And he's missed with 10 straight pitches. I mean, forget about the strike call. That was just on a pitch clock. The 2-1, right down the middle, swung on and missed by Ott. Way out in front of that fastball. At the very least, Halen's got to get something in play. If he can just punch a ball to the right side, I mean, it's virtually vacant. That'll probably score 2 because Mayer has good speed at second. Fouled back. And you have Whitehead waiting on deck. Flags are calm at the moment. Little light breeze, it's at least seeing the screen move around above home plate. The 2-2 from Edwards. Swung on and missed. Halenot goes after a high fastball. There's now 2 away, and it'll be left to Whitehead. He struck out in the 2nd. He reached on a sacrifice error back in the 5th. Initially, he laid down a really good bunt to move Ott up to 3rd, and then a wild throw from Ryan Junt, the pitcher, allowed him to reach. Eventually forced out at 3rd on another sacrifice bunt attempt. A tying run over at 3rd. The first pitch swung on and missed. An aggressive hack from Whitehead. The outfield playing shallow. See if he can get something into play and make something happen. Upstairs, 1-1. He thought about it, able to hold up. You got to force Edwards to get the ball down in the zone. Do your best not to help him. That 1-1, low 2-1. Couple good takes from Whitehead. His 3rd appearance of the day after winning yesterday's fan contest. Initially, I thought he was going to be batting leadoff. That's what we all thought. And then he'd be removed. But batting 10th, playing the whole game, outside 3-1. I will be the most surprised person in the entire town if he gets a green light here, especially with the command issues for Edwards. He's already walked 3. 3-1, in the dirt, ball 4. John Whitehead has tied the game at 5 in the 6th with a bases-loaded walk. Have yourself a day, John Whitehead. Kyle Becker will be the hitter. As time is called, we're going to get a pitching change, everybody. 4 walks in the inning for Ben Edwards. His day is done. The Lefties have tied it. They're threatening for more. We'll be back in just a little bit with the new pitcher in the bottom of the 6th. A tie ball game, 5-5. 4 walks in the inning for Ben Edwards. His day is done. Jordan Chase will take over for the Dudes. Out of CBC College, a 5'11", 190-pound right-hander. His 9th game of the year, 9 total innings. Another guy, a lot of walks with 11. Also allowing 11 hits. First pitch is low to Kyle Becker, 1-0 the count. The new fan favorite and contest winner yesterday, John Whitehead, has helped bring 2 runs home today. A bases loaded walk for him a moment ago. On the outside corner, 1-1. Custer grounded out to start the inning. Then Alsip walked, Mayer walked, Kim walked, Ott struck out, and Whitehead walked to force in a run. Curveball high, 2-1. Becker's 1 for 2 today, a single and a run scored back in the first, and he walked his last time up in the 5th. Working out the stretch, that 2-1, outside 3-1. A long look in from Chase. It's a 3-1 count, nowhere to put Becker. That pitch is in the air to right center. Over towards the alleyway, Youch coming in. Bowen makes the call, and he's going to put it away. So the Lefties do leave them loaded. They're able to push a run across to tie it. Bases loaded walk for John Whitehead. 1 of 4 walks in the game. Well, everybody, we're through 6 full. A new ball game at Civic Field. So Cade Stewart will come back out and work his third inning out of the bullpen. He'll face the heart of the order, Mason Gronwald, Reed Brock, and Rutger Youch. Oh, the lefties had a chance for more, working 4 walks in the bottom of the 6th. But 1's all they get, so we're tied at 5. The pitch is low, 1-0. Well, let's see. Each of the past 2 nights, both teams have put up a whopping amount of runs in the 7th. You wonder if that'll continue. 1-1 the count on that foul ball. I mean, for 2 straight nights. Yeah, 2 straight nights we saw the Dudes send 10 men to the plate. Yesterday sent 8 in the 7th. Down the right field line foul. And the lefties batted around each of the past 2 nights in the 7th. You never know what you could see on any given day on the ball field. Stewart, a deep breath. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. His second strikeout coming out of the bullpen. That was a pretty good breaking ball. And that'll bring up Reed Brock. He's walked a couple times, or excuse me, he's walked once, grounded out twice. Stewart's all ready to go. First pitch out of the windup, in the dirt. No action in either bullpen. So unless Stewart gets into trouble, this will be his game. That one's off the hands, out to left center, and Becker's going to have to play that on the hop. So a 1-out single for Brock and the Dudes, and they're threatening once again. Well, it brings up Rutger Youch. He was hit by a pitch his last time up, doubled and scored in the 4th. Well, the lefties have rolled a couple double play balls, and Youch did hit into a 6-4-3 double play back in the 1st. On the outside corner, 0-1. Boy, MJ Kim does play awfully shallow at short when he's looking to turn a double play. That one's lined into right center. Jackson was playing towards the line. It's going to split the gap and go to the wall. Becker finally there to pick it up. Brock does not run well. He's being waved home, and the throw misses the cutoff man. No play at the plate. Second double of the day for Rutger Youch, and that one quickly unties this game. It's now 6-5 Dudes. And for the 3rd straight night, the Dudes end up taking the lead in the 7th inning. That would have been a close play if Becker was able to hit Samura, the cutoff man, because Brock is not fast. I can guarantee you that. And Jackson was just playing so far over towards the line where it took him an eternity to get over there. We have a pinch hitter coming up for the Dudes. It'll be Nicholas Prater. As the first pitch is down 1-0. Nick Prater, the 6'4" right-handed batter out of Vancouver. As that one's popped up, short right. Jackson comes in. Samura is going to make the catch in short right. So an important second out. The pinch hitter, Prater, is retired. Batting in the 7th spot for Indy Anderson.
Left fielder, number 43, Alex Hartnett.
And that brings up Alex Hartnett, who will hit for himself. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a couple strikeouts. Big swing and a miss at that first one. Still no action in the lefties' bullpen. Stewart's allowed a run this inning. Back-to-back hits from Brock and Youch, trying to limit the damage. Line foul towards the Dudes' dugout. So Cade able to work ahead 0-2. And you have Samura coming up to lead off the 7th. Couple looks at the runner. Here's the 0-2. In the dirt. Good play from Ott. Rutger Youch thought about trying to head the 3rd. Ott made sure that wasn't going to happen. So you have Custer and left playing shallow even with the wind, and Jackson, he might as well be playing no doubles, as that one's fouled into the screen. Trent is playing so deep. Even with a lefty up, he is way out there. A base hit out to right. Youch should score pretty easily from second. Here's the 1-2. Check swing. Oh, wow. That was close. I guess it missed high. Here's the 2-2. That's on the outside corner for a called strike 3. The third strikeout of the game out of the bullpen for Cade Stewart. The Dudes are able to take the lead once again. RBI double for Rutger Youch ends up plating Reed Brock. So the Lefties, let's see for the third straight night if they can ignite a rally in the home seventh. The seventh inning stretch and take me out to the ball games playing at Civic Field. We'll be right back. Well, the afternoon rolls on at Civic Field. The Lefties now trail 6-5 going to the bottom of the seventh. 2, 3, 4 coming up. Royce Samura, Trent Jackson, and Chase Taylor. Well, each of the past two nights, the Lefties trail by 4 runs. Yeah, each of the past two nights, Lefties trail by 4 runs respectively. Able to ignite rallies in both of them to tie it. Now trailing by 1. First pitch is outside to Samura. Tried to sacrifice bunt a couple runners in the scoring position back in the 5th. Unable to do so. He's ahead 2-0. Jordan Chase will get back to work. He came on in relief with the bases loaded to face Kyle Becker. Got him to fly out to end the jam. Despite 4 walks in the inning and scoring a run, the Lefties only able to get the 1. Lifted foul, 2-1. How about the day for John Whitehead, though? Boy, has he been productive out of the 10 spots. Reaching on the sacrifice error in the 5th. Ended up leading to a run on a wild throw. Outside 3-1. And then his bases loaded walk. John Whitehead reclaiming some glory days with an RBI. The 3-1. Bounced foul 3-2. Samura needs to get on base, especially with all that speed. He'll dig back in. 3-2 the count to lead off the 7th. Chase out of the windup. Here's his pitch. Downstairs, ball 4. Goodness, the walk parade continues from Dudes pitching. So the Lefties need to cash in again. This time it's Jackson. He's been quiet today. A sacrifice fly in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, flew out to short right in the 5th. I would assume he'll be up there to swing away. Samura about a 3-step lead as he inches off further. A throw over the 1st, Samura goes back in on a dive. Nicholas Prater, the new first baseman, in place of Indy Anderson after pinch hitting for him last inning. Straight up substitution. That curveball is way upstairs. The Dudes will try and turn a double play. Jackson does run well. See if he can take advantage of that open right side. In the dirt, Samura thought about going, but Brown kept it around him. Good hitters count for Trent. Youch playing fairly deep in right. Same with Bowen in center. A shorter lead now for Samura. Jackson out in front of that one. He's had a tough time timing up the Dudes' pitchers today. He's been early often. The left fielder Hartnett playing way off the line towards the alleyway. There goes Samura. The pitch swung on the miss. Throw down to second is not in time. Over towards the shortstop side of the bag. Good jump from Samura, able to get himself in the scoring position. Already his third stolen base in this series. So 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. That one's lifted into the screen. The count remains 2-2. At the very least, you need Jackson to get Samura over the third. Brock at third is practically on top of the third base bag. I don't know why he's playing so shallow. Fouled straight back. Jackson still a bit out in front. At the very least, you need a ground ball to the right side. Rucker Youch now moved in a couple steps from his original spot in right. The flags are calm. The 2-2 is ripped down the right field line, but foul into the Lefties bullpen. Jackson put a charge into that one. That was a screamer. Well, and just as I talked about the wind, the flags are picking up again. Same with the leaves. Jordan Chase comes set, checks the runner once, and that one's off the end of the bat. Short left center, Hartnett and Bowen on the run, still going. That's actually going to go over their head. The wind took it off. Samura had to hold up to make sure it wasn't caught. He'll dig into third. Jackson into second with a double. I can't believe the way that ball jumped. That's just how strong Jackson is, I guess, and how good his bat speed is. That was right off the end of the bat. He got it up into that jet stream, and just no chance for Bowen to get it. Even shading him towards left center. So Jackson continues to rake, and it brings up Taylor. And he doubled earlier in the game and scored. 1 for 3 today. And the Dudes are playing the infield all the way in. Taylor swings and misses at the first pitch. At the very least, you got to just hit something hard if you're Taylor. My old coaches often tell me, when they bring the infield in, that just makes it easier for you. Just shoot something through. Here's the 0-1. Curveball high. Samura at third after walking. Jackson at second with his double. Good speed all the way around. And a long look in from Jordan Chase. Out of the stretch, high. For the third straight game, the Lefties trying to come from behind in the seventh. Chase Taylor settles back in. The infield still in. The 2-1. That one's hit well into left. Harden on the run. He's going back, and he makes the over-the-shoulder catch. Samura will tag and score easily as Jackson goes back to second. Really good productive at bat from Chase Taylor. Sacrifice fly for him. He's tied the game at 6.
Now batting the left fielder, number 1, Cam Custer.
So still only one out as it brings up Custer. He homered back in the second and walked in the fourth. 1 for 2 today. And you have Jackson, the go-ahead run, looming at second. Dancing out there. Trying to get into Chase's head. First pitch in the dirt, blocked by Brown. That was a pretty good play, too, from Alex Hartnett to track that one down. That could have easily been another hit for Port Angeles. Chase gets his sign. The 1-0. Ripped just foul right past Acker and at the third base coach's box. Here's some fans in front of me going, keeping him on his toes. Well, Chase gets a new baseball. A lot of room still on the right side, with Gilligan keeping the runner close. Not much of a lead for Jackson, kind of up on the grass. Well, now he's dancing even more. Now throwback to second, not in time. The ball came in on a short hop. And we've seen once or twice today the dudes trying to throw down the second and fire it into center field. We saw the starter, Ryan Junt, do that and miss by about 3 feet. Might have been more like 10 feet. That ball's hit well in the left field. Hartnett on the run. He's still going back. He's not going to get it. It's up against the wall. Jackson will trot home. Custer will dig into second. Go ahead RBI double. Cam Custer all the way to the left field wall. He's given the Lefties the lead, 7-6 in the 7th. 3 straight days, the Lefties come storming back in the 7th. Have yourself a day, Cam Custer, a double and a home run. And after a short meeting on the mound, the dudes are going to stick with Jordan Chase. It'll be Owen Alsop. 1 for 2 with a double in the 4th. He walked and scored his last time up in the 6th. Alsop, a guy who does not walk very much. Now looking to give the Lefties a 2-run lead. Upstairs, 1-0. Chase on the far third base side of the rubber. Righty on righty matchup. He comes set. Shorter lead from Custer. That's popped into the screen. That's a pitch also might want back. A bit of a hanging breaking ball. Hartnett playing very deep in left now. Seen some missiles hit out to him this inning. Now the flag's at full tilt. Blowing from right to left. It's been windy all day at the ballpark. The 1-1. Way inside, off the glove of Brown. Not far enough, though, for Custer to advance. Kind of kicked right up the third base line. It's been a tough day back there for Brown. Having to deal with just so many wild pitches from his own staff. But a lot of pitches just kicking off his glove, too. Chase coming set. Here's the 2-1. Nope, we'll have to wait for it as he spins around to check on Custer. And Alsop steps out too. So he'll settle his way back in. The Lefties already taking the lead, scoring 2 in the 7th. Custer giving the Lefties the lead. Upstairs, 3-1. With first base open, you have Mayer waiting on deck, who's worked some really good at-bats today. Here's the 3-1. Hit high in the air, foul, and out of play down the left field line. Alsop got a pretty good rip at that one. So 3-2 the count. Chase gets a new baseball. They're still holding Custer on at second. Big pitch coming up. Here's the 3-2. Foul tipped at the plate. Oh, right off the foot of Alsop. Oh, that was quite a thud that we just heard. I assumed that it hit the plate at first. Turns out that must have been the shin guard. Well, now Owen needs a moment to reattach the shin guard. He really clanked that ball off himself, didn't he? Well, let's see if Owen can win the battle. Still 3-2. The Lefties leading 7-6. And we'll have to wait for it as Chase steps off. I guess he didn't like the signs he got. Now he comes set. Custer still inching off. The 3-2 again. Off the hands on a couple hops to the first baseman Prater. He'll take it to the bag himself. Custer will move up to third. So 2 outs, and we'll get a pinch hitter. Chance Dowdy will come in to hit for Brock Mayer. He must have just picked up a bat a moment ago, because I could have sworn Brock was in the on-deck circle. So Custer over at third. The Lefties looking for insurance. Chase working out of the windup. The first pitch just inside. Dowdy 1 for 5 since joining the Lefties. Outside, 2-0. He came in late in yesterday's ball game. He ended up getting hit by a pitch. 1 for 5 with a double a couple nights ago. The 2-0, big swing and a miss. Dowdy might have been thinking about making it a 9-6 game. Boy, the flags are really going now. This might be the windiest it's been all day. Swung on and missed again. Couple challenge fastballs. It evens the count 2-2. I assume we'll see Stewart come back out for the 8th. Nobody up in the Lefties bullpen. The 2-2 curveball, a little low. They appeal the call to first, no swing. Kim waiting on deck. Couple deep breaths. Here's the 3-2. That one's hit hard. And that's fair down the left field line. Dowdy hustling all the way around. He's going to turn for 2. And he'll get in there on a headfirst dive. RBI double for Chance Dowdy coming off the bench. He's extended the lead 8-6 for the Lefties. He got an inside pitch, just fought it off the handle of the bat. And all that speed turned it into a pretty easy double. Well, second double, second hit in the Lefties uniform. So it brings up MJ Kim. He's walked a couple times today. And a base hit will certainly make it a 3-run game. First pitch curveball low. Add on as much as you can, Lefties. Based on the past 2 nights, we know the dudes are not going to be done. Putting up runs in each of the past 2 ninth innings. 2-0 the count to Kim. And we'll definitely see Whitehead get at least 1 more at bat. The only question is it going to come in the 7th or the 8th? There he is in the hole. On the outside corner, 2-1. Hartnett and left still playing deep. Everybody else straight up. Chase has really slowed things down the past couple hitters. Here's the 2-1, outside 3-1. With all that speed, Dowdy might think about trying to get a jump and go to third, because he's getting a really aggressive lead out there. And Chase really isn't paying that much attention to him. At 3-1, Kim is way out in front. His entire upper body was facing the left field foul pole by the time he finished swinging. A base hit is all the Lefties need right now. Another deep count. Here's the 3-2 coming in again. That's on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Looked like Kim knew it. So that retires the side. But the lefties deliver. First is Trent Jackson and his RBI double to the wall to tie it. Then Cam Custer follows it up with a double of his own to give Port Angeles the lead. 8-6 lefties as we head to the 8th. Don't go anywhere, you guys. The lefties trying to salvage this series. So the lefties now sitting on a 2-run lead as we head to the top of the 8th. 9-1-2 coming up for the Dudes. Gilligan, Gatter, and Hagen Bowen. Ethan Young will take over on the mound. Normally a first baseman. He has pitched once this season. Boy, that came a long time ago, back on July 1st. First pitch misses high, ball 1. Gilligan singled and scored his last time up. Well, in that outing, Ethan went a couple innings, 2 strikeouts, no hits. He's got a really good arm, but he's behind 2-0. Definitely want to be aggressive, especially with the 9-hitter. Well, he falls behind 3-0. Lefty's trying to hang on. Gilligan showing bunt. He's going to pull back, and that misses inside. So a 4-pitch walk to the 9-hitter to open the 8th. So that brings up Cedric Gatter. He's 2 for 2. He's been on base all 4 times. He represents the tying run. The lefties will set up to turn 2. Young now having to work with a base runner. Ooh, that fastball looked good. I guess it just missed inside. Young perhaps getting squeezed a little bit here. That one's inside 2-0. All fastballs from Young coming out of the bullpen. Wonder what kind of breaking ball we'll see from him. I have not seen him pitch a home game. That's right down the middle for strike 1. Gilligan inches off first. There he goes. The pitch is called low. Throw down to second, not in time. Stolen base for Gilligan. Tamura held the tag just a moment longer in case Gilligan slid past the bag. 3-1 the count to Gather. It was a close pitch. Young comes set. His 3-1, check swing. It's off the glove of Ott. What's the call here? He called that a strike? Oh, interesting. All right. So 3-2 the count now. And Young deals out of the stretch, fouled back. Boy, that'd be something else if Young whips out a breaking ball here. Cedric Gatter representing the tying run this final game of the 3-game set. Lefties leading the Dudes 8-6. Curveball. Ooh, that was a good one from Young. Wow. That's two-way kind of stuff as far as I'm concerned, a breaking ball like that. He gets the foul tip from Gatter. Yeah, that's a dangerous secondary pitch. Here's the 3-2 again. Inside ball 4. I don't think Gatter realizes it. Wait, what? Somebody's forgotten the countdown there. That was definitely ball 4. Everyone down there has forgotten the count. So here's let's hit back to short. It's off the glove of Kim, and it skips into center field. Gilligan's being waved home. The throw's going to come into second. We'll see how that one's scored. It's an 8-7 ball game. So in this case, forgetting the count ends up working out for the Dudes. That's a play that Kim has to make, though. You absolutely have to make that play. Just didn't stay down on it enough. And it's going to go down as an error on Kim. Check swing, popped foul into the screen by Bowen. Bowen bounced into a 4-6-3 double play his last time up. RBI for him on the 4th with a bases loaded walk. The 0-1, he shows bunt, and it's back out to the mound. Young up with it, fires in time to first. So a good sacrifice bunt from Bowen. Gather up to second. The tying run now in scoring position for the Dudes.
Now batting number 32, Declan Brown.
And that brings up Declan Brown. He's 1 for 3 today with an RBI single in the first. Bounced out to third his last time up. Royce Samura is keeping the runner close at second, and the first one is fouled back. It's a pretty good lead from Cedric Gatter at second base. You're going to have to pay attention to him if you're Young. Custer actually playing the most shallow of all 3 outfielders, even with the righty up. The 0-1, check swing high. Young very deliberate right now. Battling his command a bit. Walking 2 in the inning. Excuse me, walking. Yeah, he did walk 2. Nope, he didn't. Sorry about that. Oh, I remember. He initially did walk 2, then the umpire forgot the count on the second hitter. That's what happened. Still resulted in a man getting on base. 2-1 the count to Declan Brown. A huge lead from Gatter. And that one's lifted in the air. Shallow left center. The wind gets a hold of it. Becker settles underneath it. He makes the catch. Oh, wow. Gather's going to tag. The throw to third. On one hop. Ow, that third. Kyle Becker comes up firing again from center field. And a great play from Alsop on the other end on the short hop. The Dudes are able to get 1. But thanks to the defense from Becker, that's all they get. 8-7 Lefties as we head to the bottom of the 8th. See if Port Angeles can get some more insurance. The lefties holding on to a one-run lead as we get set for the bottom of the 8th. Halen Ott, John Whitehead, and Kyle Becker will be the hitters. And the dudes will go back to their bullpen. The 6'2", 195-pound righty out of Pierce College, Tanner Hansen, will take over. His 6th game all coming out of the bullpen this season. 7 2/3 innings for him, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, 7 hits allowed. His last outing coming June 26th against the Gumbaroos, a couple innings for him, an earned run allowed. His first pitch to Ott is a curveball. And called low. That actually surprised me a little. Well, I mean, we'll take it gladly. Hansen have the windup. And on the outside corner. Ott's been on base twice tonight. He doubled and scored back in the 5th, walked in the 2nd. The 1-1, down and away, 2-1. Hansen, a very slow and herky-jerky delivery. Kind of slings it over the top from behind his back. Foul down the third base line. Oh, and next inning, Ethan Young will face the heart of the dude's lineup. 4, 5, 6 is what he'll see. He'd love some insurance. Outside 3-2. Ott's trying to get on base for Whitehead. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Was on the ground, hit hard, flagged down by Gather at short. In time across the diamond, the first, dug out by Prater. So Ott hit it pretty hard, but 1 out. And that'll bring up John Whitehead. He's had himself a day. He struck out in the 2nd, reached on a sacrifice error in the 5th. Then he walked in a run in the 6th. Swung on and missed at that first one, 0-1 the count. First time he's come up without anybody on base. At 0-1, back towards the middle. Backhanded by Gilligan at 2nd, hustling the whole way, and it's off the glove of Prater at 1st. John Whitehead is on base for the 3rd time today. Boy, that was some great hustle going up the line. It'll be an error on Angus Gilligan at 2nd. The 6th error of the game for the dudes. Boy, they've struggled. That was hit hard, too, by Whitehead. That was nice. He's been on base 3 times today. First pitch on the inside corner to Becker. Flew out to center his last time up. 1 for 3 on the day is Kyle. Short lead from Whitehead. Oh, wow. Becker's behind in the count, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 from Hansen. On the ground, this could be 2. Gather up with it. To second base for 1. Off-bounds throw to first. Not in time. Good hustle from Kyle, is able to extend the inning. So Whitehead retired at 2nd. And that'll bring up Samura. He walked and came around to score in the 7th. 1 of 3 the lefties were able to put up in that frame. A check on the runner. Becker just gets back in time. Kyle certainly a threat to run. And he has a good lead. Another check on the runner. This time Kyle goes back without a tag. Samura still waiting on his first pitch. Shorter lead this time for Becker. A 3rd straight throw over, not in time. I really do like what the lefties have done on the bases. Just getting good leads and aggressive secondary really have made the pitchers think about them. Swung on and missed by Samura. We saw that especially in the 7th. And again in the 5th. Another throw over, and it gets away from Prater. It goes over to the fence. Becker up to second on the 7th error of the day for the Dudes. Talk about throwing the ball all over the place. It's kind of been the case all weekend on both sides. The Lefties have still made 3 errors, but they've been better than the Dudes. Then again, if you make 7 errors, then it's kind of tough to not be better defensively than the other team. 1-1 the count to Samura. Now a base hit should give the Lefties a 2-run lead. On the ground to first, Prater, it gets off his belly. Toss over to Hansen covering in time. So the Lefties not able to take advantage of Whitehead getting on base. They leave 1 through 8. Lefties trying to secure a 1-run victory as we go to the top of the 9th.
Designated hitter for the Dudes, Mason Grove.
Top of the 9th coming up, everybody. Ethan Young back out to work his 2nd inning out of the bullpen. He allowed a run back in the 8th, able to preserve the 1-run lead. He'll face Grunwald, Brock, and Youch, the middle of the order. Out of the windup, first pitch curveball in the dirt. Last night in the top of the 9th inning, Grunwald took advantage of a first pitch fastball, homering to give the Dudes a 1-run lead. That ended up being the difference. 1-1 the count, swinging and missing right there. A good matchup right here. Another good arm for the Lefties and a big bat. 2-1. Young working a pretty good pace. 2-1 curveball outside. Well, now you wonder, will he challenge Grunwald? Oh, just inside. I thought that looked pretty good. A rough day behind the plate for the home plate umpire. Well, the tying run's aboard. It brings up Reed Brock. He singled and scored back in the 7th. 1 for 3 overall. Well, the Lefties set up to turn 2. Also been at third just in case of a bunt. Brock swings away. It's popped up. Around home plate, off with the mask. It drops in fair territory. Oh, they might have a double play. Kim touches the bag for 1, and Brock wasn't even running to first. How about that? A dropped foul pop-up. Ethan Young was heads up, getting the out at second. It was a wide throw. Kim went to get it. Reed Brock never took off down the line, and it turns into an easy 1-6-3 double play. I have never seen that before. Kids back home, it goes to show you run it out. Wow. Where in the world did that one miss? That might have been right down the middle to Rucker. Youch called the ball. Swung on and hit foul out of play. So the Dudes down to their final out. Lefties looking to take this third and final game of the series. after losing by 1 run each of the past 2 nights. The 1-1 from Young. That time he gets the call in the inner half, 1-2. The Redmond Dudes down to their final strike. The Lefties can smell it, trying to pick up a big victory ahead of a 3-game set against the Harbor Cats. The 1-2 pitch. Wow. That did miss outside, but that's been a strike throughout the day. So we'll try it again. 2-2 the count to Rucker Youts. The Lefties lead 8-7. Young's pitch, curveball. Young having some words for the home plate umpire. He called it outside. Again, that's a pitch that's been a strike throughout the day. Here's the 3-2 from Young. In front of the mound, Young up with it. Plenty of time. Oh, the throw is wide. It gets away from Taylor. Youts going up to second as Chase Taylor goes to retrieve it. He'll get in there safely. Oh, my. Wow. What a bizarre day. What a bizarre weekend. So the 4th error of the game for the Lefties. It brings up Nicholas Prater, who came in to pinch hit in the 7th. He flew out to right. So now the tying run at second. And I know if you're Young, you thought you had Youts struck out a couple times. You're going to have to settle down, though. First pitch taken high. And there was nothing that Chase Taylor could have done in that throw to first either. That ended up being way wide. The 1-0, that's lifted high in the air down the left field line, foul out of play. That ball was hit a mile high. So 1-1 the count. The wind picking up a bit more going out to left. Now you can see even the jerseys moving for some of the Lefties fielders. The 1-1. Up and in. Nearly got a piece of Prater. 2-1 the count. As he takes a deep breath at home plate. Well, Young looks towards the dugout and shrugs his shoulders. Trying to finish off this victory for the Lefties. That 2-1 swung on and missed. Prater out in front of that pitch. So once again, the Dudes down to their final strike. Young thought he had Youts struck out a couple times before reaching on the 2-base error. The Lefties can smell it. Here's the pitch from Young. Way upstairs, 3-2. Young has dealt with traffic each of his first 2 innings out of the bullpen. Lefties leading 8-7. The 3-2. High in the air to left. It's well hit. Custer going back towards the wall. He's turning around, and he makes the catch just in front of the fence and left. Boy, a bit of a scare late in the 9th. Prater got a hold of it. Ethan Young, though, able to finish off the Redmond Dudes and secure the 2-inning save for the Lefties. Port Angeles able to salvage one in this 3-game series in this non-league play. Boy, that was a much-needed win for Port Angeles. 8-7 is your final, everybody. 11 combined errors for both teams. It was ugly. John Whitehead had himself a fantastic day, getting on base 3 times, helping to score 2 runs for Port Angeles. That was wonderful to see. So the Lefties will be heading out of town across the pond to take on the Victoria Harbor Cats. That series will start on Tuesday. It'll run through Thursday. And so our next broadcast is going to be Friday night, 6:35, back on the local Peninsula Public Access Station and the West Coast League app. The first of 6 home games, starting with the Bend Elks, starting next Friday, this coming Friday, the 14th, everybody. Well, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. The Lefties are winners today after all sorts of action at the field. Have a great rest of your weekend.